Greetings everyone, and welcome to my coin collection. One thing about history, which is sometimes frustrating, is that we know about big events because records are kept by governments and wealthy private citizens. But the ordinary lives of average people like us, are often harder to find out about because either they did not keep detailed records, or those records have been lost or destroyed because they were not considered important enough. That is why this coin has been produced. Today's coin was released in the United Kingdom in 2019, and it celebrates the 350th anniversary of the last entry in the celebrated and revealing diary of Samuel Pepys. Pepys was not an especially famous or influential person. While he rose to be a Member of Parliament and eventually the Chief Secretary to the Admiralty under both King Charles II and King James II, at the time when he began writing his diary, he was working as a teller in the Exchequer. Historians have been using his diary to gain greater insight and understanding of life in London in the 17th century. He began writing on the 1st of January 1660, recording his daily life for almost 10 years. It is more than 1 million words long and has been considered Britain's most celebrated diary. Pepys is frank in writing about his own weaknesses and gives a detailed daily account of his life, including the time he got up in the morning, what he ate, the weather, and his feelings about the court and theatre, including his amorous affairs with some of the actresses, his household, his major political and social occurrences. The timing of Pepys' diary has also contributed to its fame. Politically, England was still in confusion, Oliver Cromwell having died just a few years before. Pepys had been a supporter of Cromwell, but converted to royalism when Cromwell died. And Pepys was on the ship that brought King Charles II back to England. 5 years after he began writing, in early 1665, England then saw the beginning of the Second Anglo-Dutch War and, later that year, the Great Plague. Then, of course, the following year, the Great Fire of London, where Pepys famously hid a wheel of Parmesan cheese and some wine in a hole in the ground to protect them from the fire. In 1667, the Dutch made a raid up the Thames, which caused great unrest in London as people feared invasion. Some people fled the city, while others, like Pepys, had some of their valuables taken elsewhere. However, the war was to come to an end a few months later that year. Pepys finished writing his diary in 1669 because he was beginning to have trouble with his eyes and worried that writing the diary in dim light at the end of the day was contributing to this. He went on living for another 34 years, however, occasionally dictating a journal entry or keeping a work-related diary when he was in Morocco in 1683. This diary, though, was written in a combination of shorthand and a code of various languages because he did not want his contemporaries to read it. However, he certainly had an idea that it might be read at some time in the future. On the coin itself, we see the words Samuel Pepys, Diarist, around the outer rim of the coin at the top. At the bottom are the dates 1669 to 2019, while in the centre we see a hand holding a quill and paper covered with the shorthand that Pepys used. On the paper, just below a replica of Pepys' signature, is the date May 31st, 1669, which is the date of the last entry in Pepys' diary. What we can't see, because of the packaging, is that around the rim are the words, "The good God prepare me," which are words taken from the last page of the diary. This is an interesting coin, and the packaging has lots of information. It's been fun finding out more about Pepys and reading some of the parts of his diary. I hope you've enjoyed looking at this coin with me. If you have, please like this video and leave a comment down below. You might also consider subscribing so that you don't miss any of the future coins in my collection.